Hey guys, it's Mo Clark checking in with Upscale Magazine with a relationship guru. I mean, can we call him that? I don't
Absolutely.
know. Anyway, the truth absolutely does hurt. So you have picked the perfect name. And he is about to help us either get our life together or become single because we have discovered things and we finna have a hot girl summer, okay? So let's get into it. Your platform has become a trusted space of conversations about Black love and commitment. So, what actually inspired you to talk about this?
I was a hopeless romantic. I was literally somebody that always has loved everything that had to do with love. I was always a relationship type of guy. I just always had a whorish look to me. So I think that a lot of times I would get, seriously, I think that I would get into relationships where a lot of them were ruined because the women that I were dealing with believed that I was too good to be true. So it was just one of those things that just came naturally to me where I've always had a good ear for listening, but I've always been really good with problem solving. And I've always loved love. And I feel like there was nothing real and like relatable like me around for me to want to listen to. I feel like most of the relationship gurus are either buttoned up in a suit and tie, and I couldn't relate to that. And then some of them were crazy old, and I couldn't relate to that. And then some of them were unattractive, and I damn sure couldn't relate to that. So I feel like I was something that was needed. Yeah, for sure.
You were, and I found out about you through going through my own heartbreak and my own situation. And one of your videos came through the DM by way of one of my homegirls, and I was
Awesome.
like, "Why is this man yelling at me?" So I'm past that now. So I'm a huge fan. So this interview was like a no brainer for me. So, in an era where marriage and long term partnerships are often questioned and dismissed, you have continued to advocate for their value. Why do you believe in these institutions? Why do you feel like they still matter?
So for me, because I am married, and once again, because I am a hopeless romantic, and because I believe in happy endings, I also believe that if we're 35, 40, 45, 50, if marriage is not the end goal, then what is? If you can't see a lifelong partnership with me, then what do you see me as? A lifelong hookup, a lifelong booty call, a lifelong something to do when there's nothing to do? I believe in marriage because I believe in unity. I believe in the power of partnership. I believe in the power of love, and I'm going to push it. And I don't believe that marriage is outdated. I just believe that we live in a society where if you hyper focus on social media, you'll get the false belief that everybody wants to be single, but don't nobody want to die alone. We weren't born to be alone, respectfully.
Not only that, but for some reason, people think that marriage is extremely easy. They think some have the perception that you're going to come home and your wife, who works 1,000,010 full time jobs, is going to be in an apron and stilettos with cookies and say, "Hi, honey, how are you? How was your day?" No, no,
Well,
no.
a marriage is absolutely work, right?
Yes,
But they do say that if you love your job, then it doesn't feel like work at all. And
for
so that's
sure.
just one of those things. It's definitely work, and anything that you do in this world that's worthwhile, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, the emotions are going to fluctuate. But that's why I always tell people in any relationship, the foundation has to be a friendship. And if you don't mind, I'll expound on that a little bit, right? There will be days where I don't want to come home to my wife, but I want to come home to my best friend. There'll be days where I want to give up on my wife, but I won't give up on my best friend. There will be days where I might not want to be honest with my wife, but I can be honest with my best friend. And so I
Yes.
think that people are going out here and they're not focusing on the strongest pillar and foundation of relationships. And it starts with friendships. We got to be friends first, respectfully.
Yes, yes. And I think that because I didn't make cookies, I have become a serial wife where I just keep getting married. But you know what? I'm gonna make cookies next go round and see what happens.
Well, this is the thing, right? So the naked stilettos and all of that, that's cool. And it's even sustainable. But I feel like the man that you're dealing with has to give you a space for that to be sustainable as well. You
Yes.
can't expect for me to be putting on my work boots, your work boots, and we both come home at the same time and have stilettos on. But
Yeah.
If this situation is financially decent, maybe
Yeah.
that could be an option. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm paying all of the bills, stilettos and butt naked with the apron is the expectation for sure.
Because they got time to do it.
You
You know
you
what I
bet.
mean?
Now,
You
if I'm
have
paying all the
time
bills
to
and
do it.
now, if I'm paying all of the bills and I come over to you in a bonnet, something got to change immediately. Respectfully, depth to bonnets as well. Go ahead.
You see, I ain't put mine on. I had to go down there and turn my wig sideways to give myself a
I'm
different look
proud of you.
today.
I'm proud.
You know,
I'm,
get it together. All
yes.
right. So your audience actually spans from multiple generations, from Gen Z to older viewers who recognize something familiar in your perspective. How do you balance actually honoring like the traditional values and the new values? Because you know, a lot of people are celebrating divorce, literally celebrating divorce with divorce parties and turning up. I'm sorry, I'm grieving. I ain't gonna grieve that long, but I don't want to go turn up.
So what you have to understand is that you're only really seeing this on social media, and social media is a place where we push this narrative to normalize things that aren't normal. When you think about a divorce, not a marriage where it was strictly beneficial, but a marriage where you were in love with somebody,
Yes.
it's never a celebratory thing for it to be over. These are people trying to push the narrative, right? One thing about social media that you have to understand, you have bitterness on top of bitterness. You have unsuccessful on top of unsuccessful. You have mediocrity on top of mediocrity. And these people need a club, right? And so what happens is misery loves company. So they'll put they're going to kill me for this, but even you'll see a lot of these relationship guru, female or male coaches with no relationship. And
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you look at their content, you have to ask yourself realistically, how is it that they're making millions of dollars? How is it that they're able to push this? And the reason why they're able to push it is because there's a market full of people that want to hear this nonsense. There's a market full of people who say, yes, say that, because that's my delusion. And I agree with that. My content it's not gray area content. It's black and white, and that is what life is. And so, you know what's so crazy? If I was to get on the internet and push the narrative as a couple of other names that pushed it, I would be filthy, filthy, filthy rich because I know that there's a market to keep us divided. I'm not pushing that. I love love. Love still exists. What was normal 100 years ago is still normal now. It's just when we get on this internet, man, it's a world full of delusion.
For sure. And I used to refer to them as the TikTok therapist. And I used to have someone that he would always want to show me social media videos. And he showed me a video one time where this girl was sitting there saying, yeah, you might be a 10, but your man gonna leave you for a 5. I was like, boy, if you don't get that video up out my face, like, get that video up out my face because
so one thing that I live by, and I want you to use this as a dating tool or just a relationship tool. Before you even decide to take somebody serious, go see who influences them. Like you gotta really go see who oh, so you a Kevin Samuels fan, so you think this is addicting. You gotta be, I'm telling you, because listen, you will get with somebody and people will try to lead your relationship based on what they heard on Instagram. And you gotta be careful with the source of information for sure.
110% sure. Because I know I would, if I got love for a 5, then just say that. Like you literally you couldn't afford, you know what, I ain't gonna, you know what, this ain't about me today.
This say something. Go ahead.
This is about you. Hold on, question number 10. You often frame love not just as an emotion, but as a discipline, a choice, and a responsibility. How has your own experience shaped your philosophy?
Wow. So me and my wife, she taught me without verbally or sitting down with a pen and pad how to love differently. I used to think that I could love people the way that I wanted to versus how they needed me to. And so with her, it was so different for me because when I met her, she had more money than me. And I was so accustomed to being the breadwinner in all of my relationships that I had the false belief that gifting and giving money was my love language, but giving money didn't require effort. And so when I got with a person that had money, it taught me that I had to step a little differently because I cannot flatter her with money. I cannot sway her with money. So now what this did was this put me in a space where I had to learn how to pay attention to detail. I had to learn about romance. I had to learn about really coming into a situation and learning how to set the tone, paying attention, like I said, to the intricate details and having the flowers arranged a certain way. And yeah, of course, I could take you to a Michelin star restaurant, but how about I get in the kitchen and try to put it together and sprinkle and so
yeah,
it was one of those things, and I'm big on this, and I don't mean to be long-winded.
Oh no, you're good.
A man or a woman that is into you, she is going to figure out what makes you tick. He's going to figure out what makes you tick. Like they're going to learn you. Like it's going to be their duty to learn you because somebody that's really into you, and if they're emotionally stable and they're mentally stable, they're going to learn that you cannot cook different meals with the same recipe. And so a lot of times when we're dating, we feel like we can love people the same way we loved everybody before them. And that's not going to work for some people. It's just not going to cut it. Respectfully.
Yeah, when I moved on to marriage number 2 to number 3, I used to always say, I know how to be a wife and I know how to be their wife, husband number 2. But I had to learn how to be husband number 3's wife because he's a different person. He was a different person. So he didn't require what they required. One of them liked to eat wings all the time.
Right.
Number 3 didn't like to eat wings all the time. He liked something else, So you can't take that into the same situations. But at the same time, it was like, I had to learn things about me too. And I'm still learning things about me.
And that's what I was going to say. You're a different person as well because you also have to understand every partner is going to get a different version of you.
Yes.
The only thing in this world that is consistent is that you're going to change. And different people bring different things out of you. That just is what it is.
Yeah, and when you're in the industry, you start looking at everybody sideways. You it's almost like you interviewing people like, do you really like me for real, or are you just trying to get in certain rooms? Hold on, let me take my wig off and see if you still like me. Like you start trying to challenge it a little bit. I prefer the wig
to be off first date anyway, so I can know what I'm paying for. So yeah, let me see the real you from the rip. Come, no lashes, no wig, yeah, from the first date. Because I'm saying like this, what you get if I come, this what you getting. So like I need to know. Yeah, but anyway.
I agree. So with relationship discourse so often reduced to viral clips, which we talked about, and sound bites, how do you approach the responsibility of discussing love publicly in a way that protects nuisances, culture, and the dignity of Black relationships?
None of my reels, none of my content is put into the world to be validated or even approved of. So that's another thing about my messages, right? I think Deion Sanders said it. You didn't create me, so you can't destroy me. My messages are my messages. And one thing that you have to understand, I know that I'm an acquired taste. I know that my directness, my bluntness, my truthfulness, it disturbs a lot of people. So for me, what I realized early was that who my messages can hit, they'll hit, and who they can't, they can't. I'm not out here pushing a certain agenda or a mission. This is just my life experiences. And this is why I tell people, I don't even like the term life coach. I'm a life expert because of my experiences. Yes. I'm not a guy that is book taught. I am life taught. And I also know that I am a man that has always moved through life at a high level of confidence. So if you're insecure, if you lack confidence, if your self-esteem is a little low, I won't be for you anyway. But I am somebody that is going to listen. You know what I tell people? The truth does not hurt. It's the accountability attached to it. If I've ever said anything that offended you, mind you, I don't know you personally. So it's the message that's killing you inside because for some reason, something in it is bought. But anyway, yeah. So, I've never posted a video for the culture, right? Because my content is for the human race. It's not for Blacks. It's not for whites. It's not for Hispanics. Maybe a dog might they. If they can pick up on what I'm saying, maybe that'll be applicable for them as well. Like I'm not a Band-Aid over a bullet wound type of guy. I'm just giving you Black and white when it comes to life. No gray area content.
Well, you're doing amazing. I know, I be reading the comments and I be like, boy, the men ain't gonna like this one today. Because you'll post like 2 or 3 times when I'm at work, but I'm really working, but I'm really like doing research.
My,
I'm doing
my
research.
method is I want to trigger you but teach you at the same time.
Yeah.
So I come from an environment where ridicule was a form of therapy. And what I mean by that is, do you know why young black men won't go down on fast young black women? Not because it tasted bad or it had a funny smell, but because other men in our peer group ridiculed us until we was like, we not doing that no more. The same reason why I chose not to be broke. They made fun of you for being broke.
Before I let you go, I know you're what day are we? 20 days in January. Okay, yeah. January 20th. Now you're kicking off 2026. You got a lot of things coming down the pipeline. What do you feel you want people to walk away from, out of everything you're doing, all the projects you're doing, all the videos you're making? What do you want them to walk away knowing about you and your teachings?
I had to fail a lot to have the wisdom that I have. I am not perfect. I am human, just like you and my imperfections. That's what makes me human. I've been to prison. I've been the bad guy. I've been the good guy. I've been the in the middle guy. I've been the cheater. I've been the liar. I've been the backstabber. I've been the voice of reason, but I've also been the voice of chaos.
For sure.
I pray that the people that are listening to my messages, the people that I'm able to reach, I pray that you're able to learn from my mistakes. I pray that you're able to learn from my downfalls. I pray that you're able to learn from my pain, and so that you don't have to go down the same slippery slopes that I had to go down. And my messages may not be beautiful. They may not be packaged correctly. But if you really take the time to step back, you know that they're coming from a very good place. I gain nothing from the things or the ways that I say things. Like I said, my information is not a money grab. Every video comes from the heart. Every video is a one-take video. I don't rehearse it. I don't write it down. It's literally from the heart. Like I'm writing with my blood at this point. Yeah, for sure.
Most of us that film in our car, we do not practice.
Absolutely. You know what? Some people be editing. I know a couple of creators. They do patchwork. Mine's is straight through. Boogies in my nose, hair all over the place. I don't care. I'm giving it raw.
Mine's gonna be straight through too. I just tell people, if y'all see my wig slide, just check.
I got to check your content. I got to find your page.
Yeah, make sure you follow me. Follow Upscale. You gotta tell them your page. I ain't gonna tell you. Tell them.
So my Instagram is I am Truth Hurts 357. My Facebook is I am Truth Hurts as well. It's the same across all platforms. And my TikTok is I am Truth Hurts 357 as well. And you'll know it's me because we got 1.2 million on Instagram, almost 900,000 on Facebook, and I believe 400,000 on TikTok, but I do not post on TikTok. And go follow my YouTube channel, which is Nothing But the Truth Podcast. And before we go, if you don't mind me plugging, if you want to come out and have a really great time with unapologetic content and dialogue, come out to one of the live shows, Nothing But the Truth Podcast. It's an absolute movie. Make sure y'all tap in, full engagement, and I dive in the crowd every show.
And you have an event coming up with Dr. Bryant.
Yes, in Florida. Yep. Miramar, Florida, I believe. Am I pronouncing it?
Yep.
Okay.
That's gonna be exciting.
You think she ready for that?
I think both of y'all together is going to be it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Huge personalities and different perspectives.
Huge personalities, different perspectives, and I love the fact that you guys are putting this content out there. I like the real side of social media where people talk about the fact that marriage is hard, talk about the fact that marriage is work. Because some people get in thinking it's glamorized and they think you're going to see husband and wife doing pity pat, content. And then, we're watching something happen right now between a popular social media couple.
My favorite line is this: I do not have a perfect marriage. I have a successful one. There's a major difference. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I actually like the fact that I have a progressive marriage because it always gives us something to strive for. So when you run across these people with these perfect marriages, they've hit their ceiling. They won't grow anymore together. Me and my wife are continuously growing and building and bonding every single day. So I have a successful, progressive marriage for sure.
Well, amen to that, and I am super excited. I love Black love, and I'm gonna marry my puppy at this point. So I'll send you an invite to the wedding. You know, we're
Please.
gonna have. Yeah.
And I sing too, like, so I might could sing at the wedding. I'll be like, AOU and all of that.
He's gonna have on a tuck. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
tuning in.
Absolutely. All right.